Welcome back to The Rundown, and we're going to continue our lively campaign debate here in the studio ahead of the March 23rd elections. With us still, Simcha Rothman, parliamentary candidate of the Religious Zionist Party, Jeremy Saltan of the Yamina Party, and Rabbi Gilad Kariv of the Labour Party. And gentlemen, let's talk some issues. Of course, Israel is, of course, the perennial issue of what we call peace and security, how to proceed in the West Bank or Judea and Samaria. On the Palestinian issue, with a new American government, the Biden administration, that is committed back to the two-state solution. So who is best, or what government is best in order to both maintain Israel's relationship with the United States and fulfill, at least according to your lights, Israel's peace and security? Again, Simcha, we'll start with you.
I think that the two-state solution is no solution and no two states. You don't have, you end up with no two states, and it's not really a solution. You have to acknowledge that between the river and the sea, there is only one place for one state and one national movement of the Jewish people. There is a problem. We know we need to take care of the problem
with the Biden,
with the Biden administration, but also with the fact that there are
indeed
maybe the viewers don't know, but there are Palestinian Arabs who call themselves Palestinian in this country. But we need to solve this issue. But two-state solution is not a solution. I really hope that the Biden administration understands that it's no more. It's the fact that the idea that you can't have a regional solution without two-state solution.
What would you like to see an Israeli government that your party? What policy?
I want to apply sovereignty over Judea and Samaria.
Okay, sovereignty.
I want the settlements to be settled, actually, to be arranged legally, because some of the problems we had from former administrations created a lot of problems between the facts on the ground and the facts in the books. So we need to solve this, because a lot of families are waiting. And I think that only 100% right-wing government will be able to form any solution to any of the issues, and we'll soon hear the new coalition.
Well,
we'll hear the split there also.
Let's take it one at a time. Prime Minister Netanyahu did not extend sovereignty, by the way, to the West Bank or Judea and Samaria.
Here's a scoop: if he's reelected, he won't either. You know, look, I think it's obvious to a lot of people the Biden administration would like to open up a new chapter with the relations between the American administration and Israel. It's difficult to do that with Netanyahu in power. We just saw that spat right now with Jordan. The guy who's Mr. Security and Mr. Diplomacy has not really been having the best month when it comes to that issue, when it comes to this campaign at least. You know, beforehand it was a little bit easier. This campaign is a different story. Look, Naftali Bennett, he comes from, parents who were born in San Francisco. You have myself, someone who was born in Chicago. We're just a list of people who understand both figuratively and literally the language that is being spoken in Washington. That doesn't mean that we change our values. That doesn't mean that we stand for something else. That means that we're able to go ahead and actually come to real understandings with administration and agree what to disagree with about, and agree about where it is that we can take things to the next level. I think it's very telling what we've seen so far.
Gilad,
no answer, but yes, excellent.
No, he does make a point, Gilad, but he seems Jeremy seems to think, being raised in Chicago and Naftali Bennett having.
Well, I was raised in Tel Aviv, and I live in Givatayim. And the challenge that we have is not with the Biden administration. The challenge is that we have is the fact that in this piece of land, there are today 7 million Jews and 5 million Palestinians. And Simcha's vision, and unfortunately, in a way, this is also Yamina's vision, is a real threat to the Zionist enterprise and to our ability to maintain a nation state of the Jewish people, which is a strong and a vibrant democracy. I was amazed to learn that Simcha's party acknowledges the fact that we have a problem. Houston, we have a problem with the Palestinians. This is why probably they brought the disciples of the racist Rabbi Kahana, people that support transfer, people that want sovereignty but without handing any civil rights to the people that they ask to control. This is not the Zionist vision. Those are not the values that you can find in Israel's Declaration of Independence. Leave the Biden administration aside for a minute. This is an Israeli interest to create a separation between the Jewish state and the vast majority of the Palestinian population.
You know that Naftali Bennett said that he is the father of the idea of applying sovereignty over Judea and Samaria? That is his claim. He's going to be his partner. You're going to be his partner.
Simcha, you know what the difference is? That we don't go to the far right or left. We don't invite Itamar Ben-Gvir to be our partner. And it means...
I would really like to hear, what do you think about sovereignty? What do you think, yes or no?
Simcha, I'll tell you what we think. We think that right now...
It's good that you are now we. I like it.
No, we is the Labour Party.
Okay.
When we have 1 million unemployed Israelis, when aside to the operation of the vaccines, the current government totally failed in running the COVID-19 crisis, the top priority is to end Netanyahu's term, and then to build a unity government, a government of change that will help the Israeli society to recover. Then we can start to debate on external issues. You, in the end, your party in the end wants to create...
Don't argue with me. I'm not part of your coalition. Argue with your friend there.
You know why
I'm in the opposition now.
No, Simcha, I'm fighting with you.
I know.
Because you support a Likud, far-right, and ultra-Orthodox government, and this is the worst government for the state of Israel right now.
Okay, gentlemen, I
I'm really curious. Do you support sovereignty? Do you support? Okay,
of course.
What will you do? The first day in your government, what will you do?
We will save the Israeli society from the pandemic.
Form a unity government.
Let me tell you
where. I live in Judea and Samaria. I live in Judea and Samaria.
I'm giving it Simcha. I want to give Jeremy 30 seconds.
You asked
Simcha. Do you live in a legal settlement?
Gentlemen, please. I want to give Jeremy 30 seconds to answer because you asked him a question.
Okay.
30 seconds.
I'll tell you where Gilad and I agree. We agree that the number one thing that right now the Israeli people care about is going ahead and getting a job again, making sure that they are safe. No, what I am telling you is that you need to reassess your priorities.
Naftali Bennett said it will be the first decision in his government.
The three of us are all in opposition. Why wasn't Smotrich appointed? Why wasn't Smotrich appointed a minister? You know why Smotrich...
You're not answering the question.
No, I am
Bennett
answering
said that the first thing, he said, these words, not mine. Naftali Bennett is your head of party.
Gentlemen,
Bennett is your head of party, and he said the first decision he will accept in his government is to settle my house.
Simcha,
will it be? Yes or no?
Simcha, I do want to move on to another issue, which even though it maybe not be the dominant campaign issue, is certainly of special interest to the viewers of this channel, and of course, certainly to Gilad Kariv. Now, recently, the Supreme Court stepped in, said the state of Israel had 15 years to make conversion policy consistent. The government of Israel recognizes Orthodox and Reform conversions abroad for the positions for the status of citizenship, does not recognize those here. That's inconsistent policy. So therefore, the Supreme Court made a decision deciding that non-Orthodox conversions in Israel should be recognized for purposes of citizenship. I would like to get response on how you plan, or a government that you would be in, are going to handle that issue again.
Please ask him first.
Okay, then I will.
Sure.
Do you support the movement?
Simcha, you said Simcha's really excited to hear my answer.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
I wish Simcha was so excited to hear every one of my answers as he's excited to hear
Jeremy,
this
we don't have much time, so give us the answer.
I'll tell you what the answer is. The answer is, and we're very clear about this, that what we support is what we saw from the Nissin committee outline. And this is just another example of why the Netanyahu government doesn't work. They go ahead, they create committees, then they create committees to talk about the recommendations of what the committees had to say. and they don't actually implement anything.
I want to explain. That's a proposal to reform Orthodox conversions.
Correct.
In a sense, make Orthodox conversions, you might say, more liberal, but still not recognize Reform or conservative conversions.
In
Israel.
Do you support recognition of Reform conversion in Israel? It's a very simple question. I don't understand why you don't answer it. Do you support
I think
it?
I answered the question. I think everyone understands
Yes or no?
the answer.
Do you support acceptance of Reform conversions in Israel? The ruling of the Supreme Court, I remind you.
We support, just as Smotrich, the leader of your party, supported back when he was sitting in the government.
The Nissim. So you object to a Reform conversion in Israel? Yes or no?
I think that's a pretty clear answer to
Yes
you.
or no? Okay, no answer.
Listen, you got an answer. You got an answer.
You don't support Reform conversion.
Listen,
He does. He filed the lawsuit to the Supreme Court.
I don't think that's a
Gilad
shocker.
is.
He was the one who filed it.
I know who Gilad
You know
was.
what the amazing thing?
Okay, Gilad, let's jump in on this
My
issue.
two friends here act as if this is a panel in a Bnei Akiva branch in one of the settlements. They truly believe that the vast majority of the Israelis are asking themselves, should I support this policy or that policy? I want to allow the two of you to know that the vast majority of Israelis do not support a monopoly over conversion. They don't even support a monopoly over marriage and divorce. The fact is that there is a very strong majority among Israelis to end the monopoly of the Orthodox establishment. And again, Simcha is surprised by the concept that if we form a unity government, there will be differences between the different parties
Not
in
a
that
single
coalition.
issue you agree besides kick Netanyahu out. Not a single issue.
No, you know
I
what?
dare you to find a single issue that you agree on.
You know what?
How to deal with the coronavirus.
I'll tell you.
You asked the question, so let him respond.
I'll tell you one difference. Another difference. Prime Minister Netanyahu actually chose to boycott the non-Orthodox streams in the diaspora communities for the last 4 years, since he cancelled the Kotel agreement that was established by a compromise with the ultra-Orthodox parties. Since then, he didn't even meet one time a leader of the Reform movement or the conservative movement. I can assure you that under the new government, regardless to the question who is going to head it, Yair Lapid, Gideon Sa'ar, Naftali Bennett, this rude attitude towards millions of Jews around the world will not be embraced by the new government, in spite of all the differences. You are representing a small Israeli minority
Netanyahu did
of
wrong. On that, I think we found the agreement. What you agree on? You agree to kick Netanyahu out. That's the agreement that you have. Besides that, not a single issue. The reform of how to deal with the coronavirus. He's right wing. He's right wing on financial, economical issues.
I'll tell you.
You're left.
I'll tell you. I thought.
Simcha, there is only one problem with your philosophy.
Netanyahu combines you.
10 minutes ago, you were about the right way. 10 minutes ago, you were only about Netanyahu.
20 seconds to say something now.
10 minutes ago, you were only the right wing. Now you're only Netanyahu.
No, you are. I don't care about him. You care so much about he will be out.
I'll tell you what unites the other parties outside of what's going on, and that is that we're not talking about hate. The Israeli people know that this election is about them, and they care about who cares about them. They don't want to see this fighting. They don't want to see this. This is not stuff that's going to score you points or votes.
Okay,
you should know that.
We have to end our discussion on that point. Let me thank Simcha Rothman of the Religious Zionist Party, Jeremy Saltan of Yamina, and Rabbi Gilad Kariv of Labour Party. And however it does, I hope you gentlemen will make it into the Knesset, no matter what government.
And then we'll have to come back.
And then you'll have to come back and continue this debate. Thank you for joining us on The Rundown.